And thanks, David, for having me. How's everybody doing? Can you guys just throw me a quick hello into the chat room so that I know that you guys are here and ready for some fun? So let's put in a hello in the chat room. Do you guys know where the chat box is? Let's do that so that we can have an interactive conversation rather than just me talking out loud. Can you guys put in a hello, 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 hello? I don't see anybody writing. Are you guys there? All right. Hi, Bino. Anybody else? Or is it just me and Bino today? Oh, it looks like it's just me and Bino. Wow. What is everybody doing? It looks like there's so many people who are here live. And there's only, oh, there's CM. I don't know what your full name is, but thank you. Okay. Awesome. Anybody else? Hi, Dan. All right, cool. Come on, guys. I always say day trading or any financial markets, it is not a spectator sport. So sitting here and listening, you know, that spectator, we want to dive in and be there, right? Awesome. We have Marie Angeli. We have HP. Okay, great. Awesome. I'm so happy that you guys are here and with us today. I am going to be presenting, however, the reason why you guys are here is not to be another spectator for another presentation, but for you to be able to, you know, have all your questions answered and for you to have, you know, for you to be able to really understand some things, right? Like I'm sure that a lot of you guys have maybe some obstacles, some lack of understanding or something that you want to understand more. So the more you ask me, I am going to answer all of the questions, I promise. Okay, and I want to know, where are you guys from? Where is everyone coming in from? Can you guys let me know? I would love to know, where are you all joining us from? New York City. Wow, I grew up in New York City. Cool. Which part of New York City? Canada. Okay, Dan, which part of Canada? Canada is quite large. San Francisco, Murray Hill. Oh, okay, that I know where Murray Hill is. Can't think of it at the moment, but it's on the west side, right? Okay, cool. Yes, Edmonton. Okay, is it cold still there? Philly. My brother lived in Philly for a while. He studied at University of Pennsylvania. I used to go and visit him there a lot. It's such a pretty city. I love it. All right, guys. Well, interestingly enough, this is the beauty of being able to work from anywhere. Is several days ago, I told my husband, I'm like, I want to go to Cancun. And guess what? 2 days later, we hopped on a plane and we've been here now. We've been in Cancun now for the past 3 days. We're flying back home tomorrow. And that's the coolest thing ever, right? We just decided and boom, we were able to just come over here. And that's something that I would love for you guys to be able to, you know, do as well, because I know that a lot of people want to go through that. And these are some of the perks of being able to work literally from anywhere in that respect, especially trading, right? You could open up your charts wherever you have internet and boom, there you are. Okay, so who am I? I am Marina, the Trader Chick. This is me. Excuse me. And today, what I want to talk about is, right now, this presentation is all about mental psychology and all the things that are important, you know, like with our mind, right? The most important thing that is overlooked and kind of understood is the confidence that you need to trade. And that confidence is not because you are born with that confidence. Absolutely not. What is confidence? How do we get the confidence? It's usually from having knowledge, from having done something over and over again, from understanding it entirely. I find that the majority of the people that don't do well in trading, especially in the financial markets overall, is because they don't actually learn everything. It's one of these. The thing is with the whole financial markets is there's absolutely no barrier to entry, right? Anybody who has a little bit of money could just go into the market and, you know, want to make $1 million and think just because they have a little bit of money, they could make that. You know, there's a really popular saying, if you want to be a millionaire in trading, start out as a billionaire, right? Because what happens a lot of times, nobody puts in the effort of actually learning even the most basic understanding of what is happening. Interestingly enough, I have this one student and she's constantly getting things wrong, right? And she's almost live. I've been really telling her, please don't go live yet. You are so not ready. So finally, she sent me her charts and she's like, why am I constantly failing? She has been putting in a short every time she wanted to go long. Do you guys even understand that difference? This is the most basic of the basic of the basic. This isn't even anything like, oh, this algorithm or the support system. She was putting in a short, meaning she was telling the market that she's going to be entering at a higher price point and exiting at a lower price point. But when she always wanted to do was go in for a long, meaning she wanted to go in for a smaller price point to exit at a higher price point. And she's being constantly stopped out. Something as basic as that, right? What is that going to happen if you constantly are doing that and nobody's helping you? First of all, you're going to be losing money if you're doing it in the live market. Secondly, your confidence is going to be drained, right? And what happens when your confidence is drained? Your mental aware, your reactiveness, your emotional capacity or capital, it becomes drained. You become weak, right? You become very reactive, very emotional. And what happens? You end up losing. So my focus today is to get the basics under our belts. It's literally what a lot of people are doing. Another good example is people are putting in windows before they even have their walls, right? What is going to happen with that window when you put in something, when you put it in without a wall? It's going to keep on crashing and shattering, right? It's the same thing with when you're going into the live market and you don't even know what you're really doing. But just because you have a bank account and a little bit of money to spend, or a lot, whatever your money threshold is, it doesn't matter. You do not learn how to do this in the live market when your real money is constantly on the line. All it does is make you more desperate and more emotional because you're constantly losing money. That is not how you learn. All right, so this is what we're going to be talking about. And once we have this, I cannot even tell you how much stronger your mental capacity, your confidence is going to be for the markets. All right, are you guys ready to learn? Before we jump in, I want to just do a quick official intro because something that is also overlooked is it's not about the charts. It's not about the candlesticks. It's about who we are. The person who is sitting and watching those charts, that's the person that is trading, right? So who we are as humans is super important. A lot of people are like, oh, that's so unimportant. I just want to learn the charts. No, because the way you view the charts and who you are as a person is going to make all the difference. So we are whole people, right? For instance, I am an expat living in Antigua, Guatemala. This is my family. We've been living, this is my kids. We've been living here now for 13 years. So I am an expat. I've been actually an expat in Central America for almost 20 years. I'm an expatriate. Okay. Before I became a day trader, I was a fitness instructor. I was actually one of the very first spinning and Pilates instructors in Manhattan. Yes, over 20 some years ago. But I was literally one of the very first ones. And I am a travel writer because for me, travel is not a luxury, it is a necessity. And I still have my travel site, and I have a travel site that I work with. I'm also trilingual. I was actually born in the Ukraine. I am a Soviet Union refugee. So Russian is my mother tongue. English is my main language because I moved to the US when I was 6 and I was raised in the US. But now I learned Spanish in my late 20s. And because I've been living now in Central America for over 20 years. The thing is, the reason why I bring this up is one thing that had changed everything for me is that I recognized that the markets, the financial markets, they speak to us, and it's an actual language that we could learn. And it's a basic language, it's not complicated. And a lot of people don't even know that basic language, just like going back to my student, right, who was going in for a long but putting in a short. That is a language, right? That's a language that we understand. So if you don't understand that, how are you going to be able to make the money, right? And I think because I did learn Spanish in my later years, I was able to see that it is a language. And once I opened up my eyes that it was learning like a new language, everything changed for me. And I used to do a lot of live presentations at the Money Show, other places. And whenever I said that, people used to come up to me, they're like, that's it. That's the missing link. Like I have to look at it as if though I'm learning a new language, and it changed so much for them. And the coolest thing about day trading, you could do it from anywhere. Give me internet connection, boom, open up the charts, and there you are. And like I said before, I used to do before COVID a lot of in-person presentations to the Money Show, Traders Expo, all these others. But now I really enjoy these virtual ones because I think there's a lot more reach, right? We could actually access a lot more from our homes, and that's the coolest thing. Now, before I get into the actual presentation, I have a free worksheet for you that follows along with this, and it is also like a cheat sheet. So make sure you go to makingofadaytrader.com, makingofadaytrader.com, makingofadaytrader.com. Bino, it said you worked at HRC. I don't know what HRC stands for. Did I miss that? Let me know what HRC stands for. All right, guys. So are you ready to dig into the absolute basics? Let's begin here. Oh, New York Health and Racquetball Club. Okay, I've worked in a lot of different clubs in Manhattan. We probably even saw each other if this was over 20 years ago. Okay, cool. So what in the world is day trading and why is it not investing? Now, this is super, super important. Why is this so important? Because unlike investing with day trading, you do not want to diversify. Okay, imagine your child comes up to you and they're like, hey, I want to learn how to play a musical instrument. And you go to them, okay, super, which one? And they respond, well, I want to learn to play the piano, the flute, the guitar, and the drums. And you're looking at them and you're like, oh my God, they're so different. I recommend you choose just one, really learn it, and then we can move on to the next. Okay, with financial markets, this is crucial. You cannot be in 4 different vehicles driving them at the same time because it's not possible to be in a truck, on a motorcycle, or in a minivan at the same time. It's the same thing when it comes to day trading, because a lot of people believe that if they trade a lot of different markets or a lot of different instruments at the same time, that's when they're going to make more money. On the contrary, that's when they're going to lose more money. Why? Because crypto, forex, futures, they don't work the same. So you choose one, you focus on one, and I'm going to go into it even more because if you guys get anything out of today, this is probably going to be your most strongest asset. Okay? Now, the other thing about investing versus day trading, investors actually care about the companies, right? Right now, I'm sure you are all seeing what's been going on. The market has just been bloody, right? It's been a bloodbath. And I have a very robust portfolio. But you know what? A lot of the companies that I am with who are really down right now because just, it's the doom and gloom kind of consensus out there. I'm not worried because I trust those companies, right? I know that Apple, Facebook, they're going to come through. Why? Because they are strong companies. The whole thing right now is just everything in red. But when that dust settles, Warren Buffett always says, when it's bloody out there, that's when you need to buy. And if you're already in it, you shouldn't be worried, right? Because you trust. However, for day trading, we don't really care if the market is going up or down because we go with what is happening fundamentally, technical analysis right in front of us because we can make as much money going down as we can going up. Okay? So that is really the most important thing. Now, I want to bust a few of these myths around day trading. Myths is another word for is limiting beliefs, preconceived notions, things that aren't real, right? And we think and we treat it as if though they are, and that's what also limits us quite a lot. So let's begin with the very first one. Day trading is gambling and it's too risky. Okay, if you want to be a pilot and you decide today, hey, I want to be a pilot, and then the next day you jump into a plane, zero experience, somehow miraculously take off, what do you think is going to happen? You're gonna crash, right? And then you're going to say, oh, that was risky. But no, how come it is a known thing that if you want to be a pilot, you go to pilot school? You put in the hours of understanding what is happening. Then you practice in simulation mode, right? It's the same thing as me saying, hey, I want to be a surgeon. And then the next day, I'm in the operating room. I mean, the chances of me killing the patient in front of me is 100%. If you all of a sudden want to be a day trader and want to invest and put money in the market and know nothing, put it in with having no information, or, you know, your grandma's friend said to get into this thing, and you're going to lose, you're going to go and be all pissed off and saying, oh, it's too risky gambling. But it's not if you put in the work. Put in the work, guys. That's what it's about, is putting in the work. It's learning. It's having that strategy. It's putting in that wall before you put in your windows, right? Do you understand that? So it's avoiding that. The next important thing is having $25,000 to get started. Massive lie. What is this whole thing is, if you have $25,000 for the equities market and you want a margin account, and I'm going to get into the margin accounts because that's like a loan sharking account. Okay, you do not need one, $25,000, and two, to have a margin account, but I'll talk about that in a little bit. Look, you guys can start with crypto, $100. You can start with futures, $500. Start with Forex, $500. You can even start with equities with little amount of money if you don't have a margin account. You can start with a very small account. You do not need $25,000. That is totally untrue. You need to be a financial whiz, a math whiz, and a financial whiz. Absolutely not. I cannot figure out how to add any numbers. I'm using calculators for everything. I don't care. That is, I don't have to have any math understanding whatsoever. The only thing I could do is sometimes add my profits or, you know, do my losses, but that's it, because it's all about the technical analysis, nothing to do with anything else than that. So you could easily do this. Oh, that is so stressful and chaotic. Well, yeah, if you're sitting in front of this scenario, this is super unsustainable. This will make anybody go into complete freak out zone, right? And massive analysis paralysis. This is unsustainable, guys. Whoever is sitting in front of this or saying that this is what their layout looks like, they probably are going to be burnt out within a year or two. I don't know if any of you guys have ever seen that show, King of Queens. It was a really funny sitcom. It's kind of old, like 20 years ago. And this one particular episode, the main character bought himself a 96-inch television, and he put it into this TV room. And this is back in the day of DirecTV, when you used to get DirecTV. And they're sitting in his little room and flipping through the DirecTV, which has like 1,100 channels every 10 to 20 seconds, right? And one of his friends is like, stop, you're going to trigger my epilepsy. This is what is happening here. Stop. You do not need this. I have one chart. I have one laptop. I used to have 3 monitors, and it was giving me constant analysis paralysis, and I was constantly losing, until one day I was like, no more. Threw out 2 brand new monitors. Pretty much they were like a year old or whatever, the garbage man took it, and focused on my one. And that has made all of the difference. And here's another thing, that you need to be constantly buying the latest and the greatest softwares, indicators, algorithms. No way. What you do need is a really good, strong charting platform. Whatever it is. Today, there are so many to choose from. Those charting platforms have free universal indicators. You do not need anything else. You do not need to be following the new shiny syndrome or object syndrome, okay? Because the only people making money from them, those softwares, algorithms, and stuff like that, are the people making them. The people buying them never make money from it. And it is actually a fact. Okay, we all know about this news thing, right? Buy on the rumor, sell on the news. This is a common thing, right? When we start to hear a rumor, that's probably a time to maybe buy in. But when you're already hearing all about it, it's too late, right? And again, for trading, that is not what we want to do. We do not want to be following the consensus and the melodramas and all this other stuff, because it doesn't matter, right? I remember when Jeff Bezos and his ex-wife were getting a divorce. Amazon was super strong. They came out with the fact they're getting a divorce, and Amazon pummeled that day, like totally went into the red. Who cares about his divorce? That has nothing to do with what the actual company is doing. But that's what happens if you listen to the news, okay? So another thing is, and this is a thing, guys, and this is a mental horrible thing. What is it? Trigger happiness. going in and out of trades, because there's this misconception that traders have to be constantly in and out of trades and doing the most amount of activity and action. Total lie. The most successful traders, and they will be proud to tell you, take between 1 to 3 really good, strong trades per day. So the best example of a trade, like I guess an analogy would be a big game hunter. Okay, I don't condone hunting at all, but think of a big game hunter. When they go out hunting, are they going to be shooting, little mole rats, prairie dogs, field rats? No, they're going to be waiting for that big game. And that's what we as professional traders want to learn as well. This is unsustainable. You're going to end up losing money just in commissions alone, if at all. You're going to be losing money, guys. This is not how you do it. Okay, I always say the most radical way to trade is conservatively, because aggressive behavior doesn't work. And that's aggressive behavior. It's also desperate behavior. That's emotional behavior. That is a weak mind. It is showing the market that you don't have any confidence. You're just going in wherever, because there aren't that many good trades out there. And I also really believe small profits daily will bring you those big profits yearly, because it's okay to make a lot of money in one day, but we never hear from those guys that are doing that the following day when they lose a lot of money, right? Because you want to be consistent. If this is what you want to do as a career, you need to be consistent. You need to be able to have a strong strategy that you could rely on and have confidence in. Also, this is another issue, FOMO. I'm sure you guys have heard of FOMO, fear of missing out. I've coined this term, FOMO, fear of missing a trade. So many people are like, oh my goodness, that's a trade. Oh my God, I just missed it. And they start to chase that trade. By the time they chase that trade has turned on them. Now it's going the wrong way. They're going to remove their stop or pretend they're going to have an mental stop. Which means they're never going to put in a stop. Then their ego is going to take over and say, no, it's going to turn around. And, you're now in this whole horrific downslope of a mental freak out. And what happens? You're going to end up losing your entire account. But here's the reality, guys. There is always another trade coming. There is always another trade coming. We have not run out of trades for the rest of our lives. There's always another trade coming. So you got to get into that. And that's the strength of the mind, just knowing that there is always another trade coming. Now, I want to talk about what to trade. Like I said in the beginning, if you guys get anything at all out of this, is focusing on that one. I don't care what your one is, but find that one and do it. It's like Liberace. We all know who Liberace is. I love him, hate him. I don't give a shit. Sorry, I don't care. But the reality is, we all can say together, he was a master at the piano, right? He was a master at the piano. What does that mean? He mastered his one. He could probably go and pick up guitar and probably master that as well. But he also knew what was his thing. Okay, so there are 5 very strong markets out there that we can focus on. You choose which one you want to focus on. Forex. We all heard of Forex, right? Foreign exchange. What is Forex? It's literally pairing currencies to see how they work against one another. And do you really want to have too many currencies going on at once? No, it's probably better to have 1 or 2 pairs at one time, because then you can focus on them entirely. Okay, equities. Whenever I hear people say, oh, I trade stocks, what does that even mean? Just in the US alone, we have over 5,000 different stocks, right? So you're trading all of them? Because that's ludicrous. I have heard, so you need to niche it down. I have seen a lot of great traders that are doing sectors, pharmaceutical, technology, media, entertainment, whatever, right? Or big caps, small caps, indexes, penny stocks, or there are some quite successful people that are just doing individual stocks, Amazon, Facebook, Tesla, right? They are making killings from those alone, but they are mastering that. Futures, that's another thing. Oh, I trade futures, I trade commodities. So you're trading wheat, you're trading oil, you're trading S&P, because the 3 of them are so different. You cannot be watching them all at once. It's not possible, right? So again, even inside a market, you need to niche it down. I personally love the S&P. That is my favorite market. I would not go and trade wheat, because I cannot apply the same strategy to wheat or soy or sugar or crude, right? So again, you need to really niche it down and really understand. Same thing with options. If this is your thing, really learn how to do this. Crypto. I love when people say, I do crypto. What does that mean? There are 6,000 altcoins and projects out there. Okay. Are you doing Bitcoin? Great. That's fine. Bitcoin is one thing. Again, we're talking on a daily basis. You don't want to be in too many, right? Because some of these altcoin projects are pretty crappy, but they could give you an insane, commission, insane, whatever, moon, how they say, it's going to moon or whatnot, versus, the more like Ethereum, Cardona, those things. So you need to really understand a little bit more so you can get more into learning and understanding and really like solidifying your strategy. Okay, let's get back to the margin accounts. But first, this is now stemming from understanding which market you are in, brokers. Let's demystify this whole thing around brokers. Why is this to be demystified? Number one, if you do not know what market you are trading, you're not going to be able to find the best broker for you. I have a lot of people coming to me. They're like, okay, I just opened up a brokerage account and I want to do futures. Okay, what is it that you, which account did you open? Oh, with Ameritrade. Well, they're an equities platform. They're not going to give you anything really great if you want to do futures. So it's really good to know what you want to do first before you start to do that, right? If you want to do crypto, being with Thinkorswim or on a futures platform is not going to do good for you. One, chances are they're not even going to be able to do it. Two, if they do, they're going to give you really high commissions. They're not going to have the proper feed. So you really need to be able to distinguish which one do you want to do the most, right? And that will help you choose the best broker. Now, really important, especially if you want to be doing equities, your broker is going to come and show you or tell you that there is a perk or a benefit if you open up a margin account, meaning you also have to have at least $25,000. Again, for equities, margin account. What is a margin account? Have you guys actually ever thought about a margin account? This is not a perk. What they're telling you is, if you run out of the money that you have, we will lend you money to be buying even more. If you earn money, if you lose money, we don't care, because you need to now pay us back and with interest. And if you don't have it, because you're one of our clients, we know your house, we could get your car. This is a loan sharking situation. It is not mandatory. It is not obligatory. You guys do not need a margin account. Okay, super important. Now, let's go back to the commissions. I trade futures. So I am with a futures broker. They are giving me amazing deals. However, when I first began, because I was with Thinkorswim with Ameritrade, they also quote unquote do futures, but their commissions was literally double the commissions of the futures broker, and their feed was a little bit delayed. What is feed? Feed is seeing it in real time. You cannot have a delayed feed if you're day trading, because it's not possible, right? Think of feed as gasoline. You cannot drive your car without gasoline. You need to have in real time and the best possible feed you could possibly get, right? Because that's what you need to be doing. Okay. And where is all this happen? Platforms. You need to have a super strong platform. You cannot be saying that you want to be a pro trader and you're scrolling on Robinhood. You need to have a really strong platform. And there are so many today, right? Thinkorswim, NinjaTrader, TradingView, MetaStock. I mean, it just never ends. The amount of fantastic platforms out there today, right? That you could attach your broker firm, or you could go find, decide what you want to do. And a lot of brokers, they work with different platforms as well. But you need to be able to work off of your platform to take those trades. It will save you a lot of time and stress. Okay. Now, let's talk about the lingo. Because remember, like I said, one of my students was, trying to go long while she was buying a short, and it's right there. It says it right there. You are selling when she was supposed to be buying, but because she didn't understand the basic terminology, even though I was teaching to her, some people just don't want to learn, right? Or they forget, but you need to learn this. You need to understand this. When I was learning Spanish, me llamo Marina, mi nombre es Marina, or whatever, I would not, with those super, super duper basics, I would not be able to enter a full-on conversation with, only fluent speaking Spanish speakers. Why? Because I didn't learn a lot of the other stuff, right? You need to understand before you enter the conversation. The conversation is putting your live money, your real money, into the live market. All right. So what is intraday day trading? What is intraday trading? What is that? It is literally in and out of all your positions within a day. If you hold them any longer, it's swing trading or investing, right? So we don't want to do that. Bull market, market going up, market trending up. Bear market, we are in a bear market right now. What is that? It's a market trending down. It's a market going down, okay? And there's also the sideways trend, which is that flat channeling area, the indecision zone, the chop, exhaustion pattern. What is that? This is the area where you will end up losing the majority of your money because there's no real movement, okay? And let's talk about this because this is super important. And this is where your mental capacity and your psychology really starts to play an important role. All right, so if you are trading, you need to have a profit target the same as you need to have a risk management. What is a profit target? It is telling the market where you want to be filled for your target. It is not sitting there and be like, oh, wait, this is the target I want, but it's a mental target. Oh, it just went there, but you know what? It's about to go long. It's about to go further. And then, of course, it turns on you, boom, and stops you out. What happened? You got greedy because greed is a real thing. It's a mental thing and it's going to take over. So you need to take at least one profit target out. You can have split targets, right? You could tell the market, hey, this is the first place I want to be filled so that you have money in the bank and then you can move your next target to the next level. And in the meantime, you also have your risk management in place. What is that? That's your stop loss. It is not a mental loss, a mental stop loss. Mental stop loss is the same thing as a mental seatbelt that you put on your kid when you're driving and when you're in an accident, you think you're mentally going to save them. Ludicrous, right? That is what a mental stop loss is. So you need to put in and tell the market, this is all I'm willing to risk on this particular trade. Okay, that is it. And you do not move it. You can move it once you fill your first target, and then you can move it to a break even, and then you have no risk at all. But you need to have that in place. All right. Going back to the charts, guys, I'm going to say this again because so many people are just, scrolling through Webull and Robinhood, and those are not real platforms. They might be working on real platforms, but at the moment, they're not. If you want to be a real trader, you need to have a real platform. You need to have a real charting platform. Okay? Indicators. Like I said before, a lot of these charting softwares, they have universal indicators that we can use. And the majority of them have over 100 of them. So you do not need to go and buy them. I personally only use 2 indicators because I like to simplify my life. But it's interesting how many times I get people coming to me and they're like, oh, I use these 10 indicators. I'm like, okay, so how do these indicators work for you? I don't know, but this guy said that is a really good one. I'm like, it's good for him. How does it work for you? And they have no idea. So what I say is, let's focus on just that indicator to see if it's actually something that even works for you. And then they realize that it doesn't. And I'm like, eliminated it because it's just noise that's going to put more stress on you. Okay, trending markets. We've already established this. There's 3 very important trends: uptrend, downtrend, and the sideways trend. The sideways trend is probably the most important one of all because that's where you can lose the majority of your money. All right, buying. What is a buy? Buy is going long. It is literally entering at a lower price point, exiting at a higher price point, and taking that profit in between. Selling, going short, literally means the opposite. You are entering or selling at a higher price and buying at a lower price, and you're taking the profit in between. You could call it whatever you want, but basically you're entering high, exiting low, profiting in the middle. Boom. That's it. but you need to know the difference. Otherwise, you will be constantly stopped out. Now, if you want to be a pro, you cannot do market entries. You need to be putting in limit orders. What is a market entry? If you're an amateur, you're sitting there, you're like, oh my God, this looks good, and you're putting in a market entry. You're basically telling the market, I don't really know what I'm doing, but this kind of looks good, so I'm going to go in. So on top of that, showing the market that you're an amateur, the market penalizes you for that. It's called slippage. So slippage, you immediately lose between 20 to 25% of the position. So let's say you see a stock that's at $1 and that's where you want to enter. Because of a market entry, you're actually entering at $1.25. So you're automatically losing that 25 cents, right? And it's the same for when you are doing a stop loss, right? So you cannot do a market stop, meaning, okay, I want to get out here because it's going to, again, penalize you 25%. So you're going to end up immediately losing 25%. So you want to be, and again, you look like an amateur. So you want to tell the market, this is my stop limit, meaning this is all I am willing to risk on this trade. This is it. I've done my due diligence. I know that this is all I want to offer this particular trade. The market understands you. If it stops you out, it will stop you at exactly where it's at, not 25% more. Okay, so you need to understand that. Now, I've been talking about technical analysis. Technical analysis is everything. It is the holy grail of everything that we do. Okay, it's understanding what the market is telling you. This is that language. All right, and it starts with these areas. What are the most two important areas of your market analysis? Technical analysis, resistance and support areas. What is a resistance area? Resistance area is the ceiling of a trend. That means a market, you could have a trending market and it could be hitting over and over and over again. And it could either stop at the trend or it could completely hold for a while until it continues up. We don't know, but we need to respect that area. What is the support area? It is the opposite. It is the floor of the market. You could have a downward trend and it could be hitting over and over and over again. Again, it could be strong enough to totally change it or keep it there until it decides what it wants to do, and then it can continue onward. Okay, reversal patterns. What is that? It is literally, to me, the telltale sign right now. So reversal pattern is not indicative that it's going to reverse. It is a double top, triple top, double bottom, triple bottom, head and shoulders. What it is telling you, it is a very high chance that it can reverse. So when you see a reversal pattern, it's not telling you to put in an order for the opposite. It's telling you to stop trading, to sit back and see what the market is going to do. Okay, and when it finally does change, then you could enter that market. And divergence. To me, divergence is one of the most important technical analysis tools I use. And by the way, guys, all of these could be used, excuse me, at any market, on any platform. These are free, and this is talking to you. One second. Okay, divergence. So as you can see here, my price action, excuse me, my price action is moving up. Meanwhile, I use the MACDs, which I find to be the least lagging indicator, is going down. What is that telling me? It's telling me the market is losing strength. Do I want to be putting money into something that is becoming weak? No, never. I don't know if it's going to completely change. So I stay out because I'm a very conservative trader and I like to have my money in my pocket. Okay, now let's put all this together. As I mentioned earlier, you could get my entire presentation completely for free here, making of a daytrader.com. Making of a daytrader.com. Go here and you can get it all absolutely for free. Making of a daytrader.com. Okay, let's put all this together, because if you guys don't understand what is happening, you can miss out on some of the most powerful setups, right? And one of the most powerful setups is the breakout. we all know the breakout is literally one of the best trades out there. And what does that mean? So it means here you have a trending market, you have a resistance area, and then it breaks out and continues in that same way. But if you do not have your resistance area drawn in, how are you going to be able to spot it? This is another version of it. You need to have the actual drawings of the resistance and the support. It cannot be a resistance and mental support. Why? Because when you're in the live market, putting in your live money, our adrenaline goes way high, right? We become really stressed out about it. And when we start to look to the left, once we're already in a trade and we don't have anything drawn in, we won't know why we're doing anything because our mind is so high stress. So you need to have these drawn in. And when you have these drawn in, you can spot when that breakout or when that transition happens, right? So this is how I do it. Here is that resistance area. And as you can see, these are my MACDs. This dotted line here, that's 0. That is showing me that it's really low, very weak momentum in the market. But then it finally, boom, shoots up, it breaks out. And this is, look at all that strength in the MACDs. I use my EMA lines, which is the exponential moving average, which is my other indicator for entry. This is where I enter my trades. So imagine an archer, right? Have you guys ever seen an archery competition? They don't walk around aimlessly and just shooting their arrows. They have a very specific place they stand from. So it's the exact same thing for me. I tell the market where I want to enter because that's where I know and I have already learned the strategy for certain setups, right? This is my breakout setup. I like to enter at my EMA so that it bounces off with this MACD. There's no divergence, okay? Remember, makingofadaytrader.com, makingofadaytrader.com. Go here and you'll immediately get this all for free. All right, makingofadaytrader.com. All right, guys, let's do a little bit live analysis. So I'm gonna do a new share here. Let me see. Can you guys see this? Can you see my chart? Let me know. Are you guys able to see my chart? Yes, awesome. Okay, guys. So this is my chart here. Okay, this is what like I said before, I am an e-mini trader today. Finally, the market's been going up a little bit. Ooh, finally, right? After all those weeks of going down, down, down. So we have a significant move up. However, you could also see that it slows down and there is a chance for it to be, to either transition, start heading down, but instead it does a breakout. So let's diagnose and analyze this a little bit better so that we really see it. All right. So here is, oops. Hang on, here we go. So I'm going to use a rectangle right here, right? So this is my resistance area. It's been going up right here, right? And then it came to this slowdown, right? And then we also have actually a channel forming here, right? We have this support area as well, right? And if you look really close, it was hit 1, 2, 3, 4 times the support area. And look at the amount of times it hit this resistance area. It's an approximation, right? So I like to move it with the points. And then finally, boom, it broke out. And that's when the breakout trade happens. This is what we want to do. So here we are. And look at this. This would be my breakout trade. Boom. Tons of strength moving on. And now we have this movement going here. Look at this divergence right here. Let me find it here. So we are headed high here. And look here. Massive divergence, right? We're moving up, yet here it's completely flat. And look what happens, guys. Boom. It changed direction, right? And now we're heading down. So you have to understand this because this is screaming at you that the market is losing its strength and it's losing its capabilities. This is just, obviously, I can't share with you everything right now because we only have a very short period of time. but this is how I read the market. And I don't need any fancy softwares or anything like that, just my platform. Okay. So the thing is, guys, we have everything we need to take action, right? We have all these summits, we have presentations, we have YouTube channels, we have books, but how do you know you're doing it right? Just like with my student who has been going in short when she's wanting to buy, how does she know she's doing it right and not having any idea? You need to understand the basics, right? Because all of this is great, but the real thing is, how do I really, really get started? And this isn't only from beginners. This is from seasoned traders as well, of all ages, who are still losing money, constantly asking me, how do I turn this around? How do I become profitable and consistent? And a lot of times it's literally just lacking the understanding of the basics, right? It's once you have these basics down, and they're so simple, it's just practicing them, that you can literally take your whole trading to the next level. It's literally like driving a car. I'm in a really great position right now. My 18-year-old just learned how to drive a car. But when we first started teaching him how to drive a car, we got in and we're like, okay, put the emergency brake on, put your foot on the clutch, put your other foot on the brake, put your gear into first gear, release the brake, and he's freaking out. He's like, oh my god, clutch, brake, what are you talking about? That's the basic lingo of a car, right? But because he had no idea, he would never be able to do it, right? And it's the same thing for trading. Look, if you have never been in a car before, and you sit down and you're told, all right, buckle up with your seatbelt because it's going to save your life, but you've never seen a seatbelt, you don't know what it is, yet you're freaking out. Oh my goodness, this is what's going to save my life, but I don't know what it is. How are you going to be able to protect yourself, right? So that's the basics. I'm not talking about like anything else, but a lot of times we don't understand just those, and that could save our lives. This was my sad truth for years. I spent over $20,000 on my trainings. No joke, over $20,000. And every single time I would ask about, hey, can you please explain that divergence? Can you show me that reversal pattern? I was treated like I was supposed to be born with that information. And of course I wasn't. And what happened? I was struggling and losing money. I was losing for years, right? And to the point where I literally lost almost $4,000 in 5 minutes because I was chasing that trade. I didn't have my stop in place because I was in a bad mental place, right? I didn't have that confidence, none of that, and ended up quitting. But the thing is, what we are all here for is that the trading bug, it's a real thing. We are all bit by it, and it never stops itching. And do you want to know why? Because deep down inside, we know that we can do this. We know we can do this. So what I ended up doing is I came back and I decided to get back to those basics. I stripped my charts, I got rid of my monitors, and I just started to put in one indicator at a time, and I got back to the basics. And one of my students a little while ago goes to me, you know, Marina, your training is very similar. Your teaching philosophy is really similar to Coach John Wooden. And I'm like, who's Coach John Wooden? I've never heard of this guy. So he is a legendary coach, basketball coach. He passed away now. And his entire philosophy was, when in doubt, get back to the basics. And this guy is a legacy. He's a legend. He's got over 88 championships, 11 NCAAs. I mean, this guy is unbelievable. And he coached superstars, right? They are constantly winning each season. Yet, whenever they began, each season, he would go back to the basics. How to tie your shoe, how to roll up your sock, how to dribble the ball. Why? Because it doesn't matter what you think you know, but if you're out on that field and your shoe isn't tied properly, you can sprain your ankle and then you are out for the season with a bad ankle because you did not go to the basics. You wanted to go for the big algorithms, all this crazy stuff. That doesn't matter if you don't have your wall built. Okay, so today I have a very special offer for participants only for you guys. Nobody else is going to see this offer. It is my introductory course, Bootcamp for Day Trading, and you can do this course on any apparatus, laptop, desktop, phone, tablet, you name it. All of this is for one price of $97, one time. price of $97. Bootcampfordaytrading.com. Bootcampfordaytrading.com. Now, what can you get for $97 that will bring you the same return on investment as a day of golfing, let's say, right? Let's face it, you go golfing today, it's way more than $97. Or taking out your friend or family for a lunch or dinner, $97 might buy 1.5 meals, right? Doesn't even actually buy it. So for $97, let me break it down for you, what you guys get. And remember, bootcampfordaytrading.com. Okay, here's what you guys get. This everything for simplifying your day trading, and you will get a tutorial, 30 minutes of how to set up your platform. It does not matter which platform you are working on. They're all very similar, but I'm going to help you set it up because I know a lot of people lose a lot of time and it's really stressful to set up your tutorials. Okay, so you guys can get into trading right away. Market anatomy and the dissection of those trends. We really get into the uptrend, the sideways trend, the downward trend, really breaking it down, fully understanding what reversal patterns, divergences are, because this is the brick by brick that you're building that wall so that you fully understand and can stay out of the bad times and get in the good ones. Understanding those reversal patterns, understanding how to spot those areas with, and also using divergence, because this is the key. Okay, when you're seeing divergence, it is screaming to you that there is a slowdown, there is a weakness, but you have to understand how to spot it. And mastering that breakout, because the breakouts is one of the most powerful trades out there, and how to avoid those fake out breakouts, because they happen and they can stop you out, and I teach you all of that. Okay, understanding all of this, and you'll get unlimited access to the curriculum. So all of this is valued at $1,600. All of what you're getting, the framework, the anatomies, the dissections, the breakout, mastery, all this, and unlimited access to the curriculum. And here's what some of my students say, and I have students from all over the world. I just finished a boot camp, best money I ever spent. You are the only mentor that actually checks all of the work. I am enjoying the boot camp so much. But let me share something super important with you guys. Why is Coach John Wooden so well known? Because of his coaching. It's that mentorship. It's that working with his players. I am giving you guys a bonus right now. It is included in that one-time $97 price, 1 month, one-on-one mentorship, unlimited access to me. You guys will get 1 month of that so that you never have to question, am I doing this right? So you never have to be putting in a buy when you wanted to do a short and not knowing why it's failing. I will be with you there the whole way. And this is what's going to bring you to the top, guys, that one-on-one mentorship for 1 entire month. And I have one extra bonus for you. I run a live trade chat room. It's just me. I don't have any staff. I don't have any moderators or administrators. It's me. And I run it weekly, a live trade chat room that you will get 30-day membership as well, where we are together implementing in the live market, taking those live trades together, and you're working with me. All of this is valued at $2,600, but I have a special price for you guys only, $97. So go here right now, bootcampfordaytrading.com. $97, guys. You know what? Here's what you guys are going to get, okay? Everything in that course, 30 days one-on-one mentorship with me, which, by the way, is a priceless thing. 30 days live trade chat room membership. And you know what? And you know this is true. This is all worth less than the average trade that you guys take. $97, everything that you're getting, just a return on investment of that alone is priceless, okay? Working with me, and this is less than one trade that you'll take, okay? All this course and all that comes with it will bring you 10 times your return on your investment. So you can do 100 of these dinners because of that information and that knowledge, education that you get from that course, that you'll be able to apply it and literally do that. I literally had a student that was able to make $700 profit the following day after starting. No joke. But here's the reality, guys. I can only take on 25 students. Because of my mentorship, I cannot give all my information out and work with so many people at once because I'm not able to do that. So again, go here right now, bootcampfordaytrading.com, bootcampfordaytrading.com. And this is where you guys are going to come to. And interestingly enough, you can start with $59. $59. Okay, you can get started with all of this for $59. So let's go here together right now. Okay, so I have some questions. You guys could ask me some questions here right now. Remember, bootcampfordaytrading.com. Honestly, guys, here's the reality. $97, it's less than a trade that you normally put in without having all this knowledge and working with me. It's kind of a no-brainer. Okay, Arthur, please explain issues of NinjaTrader broker trading. You don't have to say the name of the reasons of issues, Marina. I emailed you, I had not gotten a reply. Arthur, I'm sorry, I never got your email. You might have sent it to the wrong place because I answer every single one of my emails. I've never not responded to an email. So I think you probably emailed me incorrectly. You could email me thetraderchick@gmail.com and I never got your email. So the issues with NinjaTrader broker trading, I don't know of any issues. Why do you say that there's issues? They just started a whole new brokerage and they have fantastic commissions. I am not at all affiliated with NinjaTrader, but what issues are you talking about? Because I personally don't know of any. So yeah, maybe if you tell me what the issues are, I can kind of expand on that, but I have no affiliation with NinjaTrader. So I don't know what their broker situation is. I'm with AMP Futures because I've been trading now for 10 years. And I've been with them and I'm grandfathered in with them and they're a great brokerage as well. And they actually work with a lot of really great platforms, just so that you guys know. Okay, guys, let me know if there's any other questions. And remember, bootcampfordaytrading.com, just working with me alone, and I can work with you on any platform. I am not teaching you to one specific platform at all or any instrument. All right, guys, if there's no more questions, I just wanted to say thank you so much for joining us today, taking your time, and hope you guys have a fantastic day. I'm looking forward to working with you. Oh, okay. In webinar 3, Saturday's back, I thought you said there were issues. All right. So, the issues with them as far as, okay, not the broker, NinjaTrader. I said NinjaTrader does not work on, it doesn't have apps and it doesn't work with Macs, while the majority of other platforms today are very versatile. Other than that, I've been with them forever. They are not the only great platform out there. There's so many wonderful ones. My husband loves TradingView, but he also trades from his Mac and he uses his iPad, something that NinjaTrader does not work well with, right? It's not really a negative issue. It's just NinjaTrader isn't the only option, basically. Okay, guys, thank you so much. And I'm looking forward to working with you.